flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go coffee, Son Ranto, Son Ranto, Son Ranto and the lovable loser. Son Ranto, Son Ranto, Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
Congratulations to the Otanis. Baseball's royalty are now has a king and a queen.
Whoever she is.
Whoever she is. Hi, this is Danny Rocket. I'm of the Son Ranto Show, the show which you are currently watching. Infield Fly Girl is here, throwing rice in her own room. I mean, do you have a dust? Do you need to stop the show and dust bust for a moment?
No, we're good.
She's gonna have ants.
Yeah,
You're gonna need to send her a $1 bill, Danny.
I'm the same way. You know, look at this mess. You know, I don't feel like cleaning. I'm gonna drink instead, and then I will care about the mess.
There we go.
That's how you do it.
Like true ranters.
So I'm just having a coffee. This is a hotel room coffee. I'm coming live from spring training here in Mesa, Arizona, from the American Executive Inn. And let me tell you, every single bit of this hotel room is more executive than the last. Yeah, I'll show you a few pictures later, but I do believe there's poop on the ceiling. So that's the one issue. That's the main issue I have with the room is the poop on the ceiling. But other than that, it's a clean bed.
Not poop related at all. What I've got is from Monkless Belgian Ales in Bend, Oregon. I have got Brothers Beer. It's a Belgian style single ale, and it is beautiful. Look how pretty that is.
It does look very nice. How's it taste? Like, it's a Belgian ale, though, right?
Yes, it's a Belgian.
So it's got a little sweet to it.
Yeah, a little sweet, a little citrusy. Oh, that's delightful. Very drinkable too. I mean, it's a really tall can. You know, the octane I normally have on this show would probably knock me over, but this is a nice, easy, like 4.8%.
All right, but so we're not going to get you raging by Act 3 of this show tonight. Well, maybe we can open another one.
Yeah. Well, I am celebrating Leap Day. Happy Leap Day, everyone.
It's our first Leap Day show, I believe. I would have thought I would have remembered that we would have had a Leap Day show at some point in the past, but I don't think we ever did.
Yeah, I feel like this is
it. But it's
the last day of my true trying not to drink very much. So I have a non-alcoholic michelada. So it's got a little
it's called tomato juice, Michael.
it's it's got some Coors Edge in there, and it's got spicy V8 and like a Cajun spice, a lot of Cajun spice in it to give it a little heat. So
well, we'll talk to you. I want you to text me from the toilet tomorrow. Tell me how it's going. A couple comments in the chat. First of all, Bernie Barron asking, do you have a pic of the bride?
That's a really great question. Shohei's being really, really sort of keeping it close to his chest, who the bride is, when they started dating, how long they've really even known each other. He'll only say, somewhere around 3 or 4 years. But like he's not saying even when his actual wedding day was or anything. So the Japanese netizens have kind of done their thing and have some speculation. But since Shohei has decided to keep it quiet, I don't even feel comfortable sharing what I found. So
okay, but he
hard to keep quiet.
Yeah, he did say that he was married, right?
Yes,
like
yeah,
he brought it up.
It. He announced that he is married on his Instagram, and he said that he did it now during spring training because if it came out during the course of the season, it might be too distracting. So he figured just get the news out there, get it out of the way, and maybe people would leave him alone.
Well, I do have a huge scoop here on the Son Ranto Show, is that Shohei Ohtani actually was taking in the game at the Cubs game just the other day. Cody Del Mendo, friend of the show, he was at the game and he caught this picture of Shohei Ohtani actually wearing a Cubs uniform.
Amazing.
They're sitting on the berm, and you see there is his lovely bride sitting right next to him. Cody Del Mendo at the time did not know he was taking the actual first picture of Shohei Ohtani's wife.
Yeah.
Shohei
I heard
it's funny because that Cubs uniform really does make his arms look super skinny.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Well, it's the shadows too on the berm. But
I actually heard when Shohei asked his girlfriend to be his wife, he gave her a Cubs jersey, and she opened it up. She's like, "Say ya." He says, "Yeah, say ya, say ya." Terrible joke. Terrible joke.
Man.
I workshopped that for 4 or 5 seconds before I said it.
Well,
Probably shouldn't have.
This show was brought to us by our 109 Patreon supporters who support us at the it's patreon.com/sonranto.
I can hear people pulling their support right now because of that joke.
I'm getting emails left and right being just like, people downing their pledges, but you can join us there. And those that do support us on Patreon, they are our special Deschel friends who we hang out with over at the Discord. It's a Patreon only perk. And we're going to be over there tonight after the show, just hanging out, talking about the Cubs and what we're thinking about. It's also brought to you by Matt Kammerer's Permanent Paintings. His Caitlin Clark got pulled, I saw, from the Etsy. So if you were lucky enough to get one before it got the University of Iowa sent a cease and desist, you could probably still get one from Matt, but you'll have to get it directly. But Matt Kammerer's Permanent Paintings are still on Etsy. He's got a lot of amazing Cubs work. He also sponsors the show. Here's the Ron Santo over the map of Chicago that we're giving out to one special Patreon member this month and every month. This is one. And something else that is one is an In the Clutch shirt, which it is live. Everybody, the new Browns twirling hand shirt is officially at it's at intheclutch.com right now. It's on the Son Ranto
I have
page.
already ordered one.
I
it's
have
on
to.
the way.
I gotta say, I can't see that thing clutching anything comfortably.
But we have our own collection there now. It's intheclutch.com collections, the Son Ranto Show. I'm going to drop a link in the chat right now. And if you use code Son Ranto, you get 10% off of this shirt, which pretty much pays for your shipping. So Brown Sterling Hand is live, and this one is live too. The Take a Chance. Crawley,
I bought that one too.
You did? Okay.
I did
not buy
because
that one at a time,
It's a birthday present for my youngest son, whose middle name is Chance, after Frank Chance. And Frank Chance in that picture is wearing a Cubs jersey that I would love to have. It is hard to find that particular style.
That one.
Yeah, it's the 1909 version.
Which
wait a minute. Does Nike do throwbacks? Are we doing throwbacks anymore?
I mean,
you can find a similar one that's a starter one online, but it's similar,
Yeah, I just mean like the games where they, actually dress in the old timey uniforms like they.
I think they will. They've got to.
I miss those.
But yeah, these are kind of weird because it's got that like butterfly collar and there's nothing blue about it. It's like when all the teams were either black, white, or gray. It's all they can afford.
So I have seen a drawing of it, and it is like a very dark blue, but all the pictures, of course, make it look black. So I don't know if it's actually black or if it's dark blue.
So the last people that bring us this show are our super duper ranters who are Blake Beard and his magical tickets down the third baseline. If you're looking for great tickets, follow him at the Blake Beard on Twitter and ask him for them. Rogue Wave Creative and Mike Waller and the Cubs PS Plus podcast. Love Mike. I love Mike's here tonight. I saw him in the chat.
Yep. So Everett Tosher says, I've had a couple of things pulled off TeePublic, one Cubs thing and a Godzilla one. And you know what? I had a shirt out there that got pulled off of TeePublic. It was my Fly the 53. It was the O'Neill 53 flag with Ernie Banks and Billy Williams. And I got a shirt, and I thought I was the only one ever. Until Danny sends the calendar this week, and right there on the front, I see My Tai Guy wearing the shirt. And I'm like, My Tai Guy's the only other person in the world. I've never even seen it. He never told me he had it. I've never seen anybody with that shirt except for the one that I have. I was blown away.
Amazing.
By the way, everybody should be getting their calendars right now. I see them posting online that they're getting.
I hung mine today.
Very cool. I have not seen them yet. Thank Nicole for doing that because they came a little later than I thought. So this is the first time that she had to help me out with this project. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I appreciate her doing that. Just want to give her a shout out. I saw something else in the chat here. Oh, yeah. Steve Schur mentions this. Steve just saw him at the tailgate today. He lives down here in Arizona, a big Cubs fan, and he likes the Diamondbacks too. Goes to a lot of baseball games. Great guy. And he says, #chance, which is how you win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom and an end of the year prize that will blow your mind. It is more mind blowing than a Willy Wonka exhibit in Edinburgh, Scotland. It's just incredible.
The Willy Wonka Fire Festival.
Yes. So we should get into the most pressing news of all, which is that the Cubs did what we thought they should have done the entire time and proved Lisa right. Lisa was correct. You have the original quote here. If you don't know the story, Lisa Dubs, Lisa_L_Dubs. She tweeted at Obvious Shirts. I heard that they signed Bellinger just now from a good friend who's in AZ right now, but can't find anything online about it. Have you heard anything? This was on February 22nd. Okay. So this turned everybody was wondering, oh, what is Lisa hearing that nobody else is hearing? Well, then eventually we find out that Lisa was absolutely right. And that's what Jeff Passan, when he tweeted out that the Cubs had signed Cody Bellinger to a 3-year, $80 million contract, that he also proclaimed Lisa was right, as did Joe at Obvious Shirts, saying Lisa was right in partnership with Lisa L. Dubs, proceeds donated to Fly the Dubs. To a foundation TBD, Fly the Dubs. So Dr. Gonzo theory, Lisa and Obvious Shirts, same person.
What?
Oh. Okay, now
you think Joe is impersonating somebody?
I think Lisa L. Dubs is the fakest fucking name I've ever heard in my life, and that it is Joe's burner account when he wants to like break news that he's sitting on, because he knew. That's what I'm saying.
L. Dubs.
Yeah.
I mean, L. He's got an L and W. L. Dubs. Like, I mean, it could be Lisa's a big Cubs fan and puts that as her name. I don't buy it.
Or
what do you think in the chat? Who's with
Joe
me?
has multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, Carrie loves the tinfoil hat theory. It's not really tinfoil; it is a captain's hat. But
Captain Tinfoil,
tinfoil lined captain's hat. But they did what they were supposed to do, which is sign Bellinger. So I mean,
that's right.
I can't say that my mind was blown. I was just like, kind of like when the Cubs beat the last place team. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to beat those guys. And
thank you for doing the bare minimum. Finally.
Well, as IFG said many months ago, that signing Bellinger, while we all did want it, was literally just replacing Bellinger with Bellinger, and that's not doing anything to actually make the team better than last year.
It's a lateral move.
It is for Bellinger and the team, but the difference being that now we have a bunch of dudes who are knocking at the door that are going to add to Bellinger, that if they perform well, that even just having Christopher Morel playing third base every day is an addition to the team.
I'm so glad that I told the Cubs to steal Craig Counsell in the dead of night way back in 2019. Took a while to get around to it, but hey, we got there.
And I want to talk about it in the second part, but I have noticed that the kids are really playing, and it's early in spring, so you kind of see that for half the game, but you really see them like, hey, let's see who the fifth starter is going to be. Hey, let's play at least half the game with your PCAs to see what we really have here. Let's start them in a game or two here and there.
And let's figure it out early, right? There's no need to be bringing these guys in for the 8th and 9th inning to get a look at them. No, get them out there early. The guys who only need 1 or 2 innings, they're the veterans. They're the ones that are already proven. They aren't trying to like win their spot. They're just trying to get into, anymore nobody needs to get into shape because they work out all the time. They're in great shape. They're just trying to get to game speed, and they don't need to do that on February 28th.
Yeah. Or 29th, as the case may be. Leap show. Well, I want to take a look at Bellinger's projections before we look at his past. And this is from Baseball Reference. Some people prefer other sites. But this is just the projections that they have, Matt. 533 plate appearances, 21 home runs, only a 249 batting average, which is way lower than last year.
Did he have 26 home runs last year?
Yeah. Lower OBP at 309 and only a 750 OPS. So this is his projection. And I don't know if this is taking into account the bad years he had, the 3 bad years he had before he came to Chicago, where he was hurt. But, last year he was great. He 307, 356, 525 for 881 OPS. They have him 131 points lower than that.
Yeah, that's okay. So here's the thing. I've been noticing this more and more, and I'm kind of getting sick of it. How come all the freaking numbers say that everyone is bad? Like, where are every single Cubs player, the projection is, they're going to suck. Everybody's going to suck. Everybody's going to suck. How come the Cardinals have a fucking geriatric, workman's softball beer league team, and their asses are getting up there and like, they're going to get first place. And the Cubs actually have a team that we can like, and they're like, everybody on that team's going to fucking suck. It's like, I don't understand. Why do numbers always have to be bad? Where are the good numbers? IFG, you look at numbers a little more than I do. Where are the good ones? I just want to look at those.
My tinfoil hat theory is that these numbers are very, very made up. But see, Cubs fans...
A projection?
Cubs
isn't
fans
real numbers?
Cubs fans talk. Cubs fans do what's called move the needle when it comes to media. And so when the numbers are bad, we talk about it. When they beat the bad numbers, we talk about it. And then everybody gets their little happy clicks.
Yeah, that's true. So
the numbers are bad. We're like, you got to click into this thing and see the numbers. And then people get more ad revenue. And there's like 4 people who are Cardinals fans who can count higher than 25. So...
Or when they like leave Nico Horner off a top 10 list or something like that.
Exactly.
And I kind of understand where you're going with that, but
at best, these are Oracle of Delphi huffing sulfur fumes and shitting out numbers on paper.
Is
Yeah,
it
put it
just
up there
that I'm
again.
not paying attention to other teams? Like, are they projecting every player in the major leagues to be worse this year? Because that's what it feels like to me. But I only really pay attention to what they're talking about the Cubs.
I honestly have no idea. I don't know where these numbers come from. I don't know how they're calculated. I don't know who is deciding what that calculation is and why that calculation is better than other ones. It's, I think probably any set of numbers is going to project that as somebody gets older, they get worse after they're 27 years old or something.
But he's 28. He's like, this is like supposed to be his best
and now
year.
he's 28, and that means he's geriatric and he's going to be worse than last year.
Well, and I think the other thing that they're maybe taking into account with all this, I mean, not the projections here, but with the numbers that they were willing to give Bellinger, which was only the 3-year contract. He is still on basically a prove it deal, which it's a high AAV. It's the highest AAV the Cubs have ever given out.
Yeah.
So at the 30 million mark. So that's higher than Hayward ever was, but it's for such a short amount of years. And we know that Hoyer is allergic to long contracts. He got what he wanted. I mean, frankly, he got what he wanted. It was a big win for him.
We always knew Bellinger was going to come in high. I mean, that was a given.
But, but I'm wondering at those projection numbers, that's a shitty deal. Like, if he has a 309,
you're paying $30 million for
homers,
paying $30 million for him to drop 58 batting average points and 5 less home runs, and what was that, 130 less OPS? Like, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a terrible deal. You're right. Jed
Ohtani,
Hoyer sucks. We knew it.
Ohtani only cost $2 million.
That's every time Bellinger does anything bad, we should say Ohtani's only $2 million.
Yeah, should have got him.
So
I did enjoy the press conference, and Uncle Jeff is such a wonderful follow on Twitter, but he has this great picture, which is Bellinger in the middle of Scott Boras and Jed Hoyer. And I'm just going to describe this to the podcast people, is that you have on the left side, Jed Hoyer saying, "Fuck Scott Boras," and Boras saying, "Fuck Jed Hoyer," and Cody Bellinger just thinking about weed. So
specifically an anthropomorphic weed leaf that is itself smoking a bong.
Yeah. That's true. I wonder what the weed leaf is thinking about. More weed.
Cody Bellinger.
There's another. We need to do that. Another thought bubble where he's thinking about Bellinger, and then another one. So it's just like infinite.
And then the Cubs, for no reason, went and got another first baseman. I mean, he's a non-roster invitee, but Cooper, Garrett Cooper, which I mean, I don't know why we got this guy. He's a right-handed first baseman. He's been in the league 7 years, mostly with Miami, a little bit Padres, a little bit Yankees. He's got a 268 lifetime batting average, a 772 lifetime OPS. He's got a little pop in the bat.
Tom Cooper likes him.
Really, Tom Cooper likes him because maybe Tom can sneak in somewhere saying that he's Garrett. I'm not sure what they're doing here. I mean, platoon. I mean,
I have an idea.
Trade bait?
Bush and Mervis both going to Chicago. They don't have anybody in Iowa now. They gotta get a first baseman for Iowa because they're moving the guys up. So
Bush,
you got to backfill that.
Bush and Mervis are both lefties. Like I don't see them both going up there.
It doesn't matter. Danny,
I mean, it's not like
I don't know, but a few years ago, we got the DH, and we have lefties, and they don't know exactly who they want at first, but they can bring in Garrett Cooper, put him at Iowa just in case, give both of those guys a chance. You can use them at DH. Mervis may not
bet.
play first base, but he can play DH even when Bush is at first base.
I mean, IFG, you put Belly in center, right? I mean, or both. Like,
I mean, I move Belly around depending on how well PCA is doing at any given point in time.
yeah, because the people are saying that he's going to start at Iowa, but we'll talk about his numbers at spring so far. And I know he's playing later in the game against like their version of AA pitching and stuff. But he looks good. He's cocky as fuck, and I think he deserves a chance to make the team, and he can make an impact in multiple ways. Defensively, with his speed. I agree with you. So the corresponding move. This isn't the corresponding Garrett Cooper move. It's the corresponding move for Bellinger was to trade Bailey Horn back to the White Sox for Matt Thompson, who has a 15% walk rate. And unfortunately, he's a pitcher. I mean, that'd be pretty good for a hitter if he's walking.
I was just going to say, that wouldn't be so bad.
Oh, I know you're, 50%. That's pretty good. No, he's unfortunately a pitcher. So 15 is really bad. And he's got a power curve, which is kind of like a power bottom, but curvier. But
I know my Twitter timeline had some things to say about it. Cubs fan Mike was like, hey, Cubs add Bellinger and see-through pants and get less horny somehow.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Bailey Horn is a left-handed pitcher. Seemed like they were high on him. They got him from the White Sox for Chapera. It's almost like they traded the new Bailey Horn for the old Bailey Horn. Like, just keep getting younger. 40-man move, procedural possibly. Unless Bailey Horn ends up being an all-star. And the final Cub the Cub transaction that really shocked me most this week was that Yadier Molina, now a Chicago Cubs he's not on the 40-man. I don't know if it's a minor league deal that he signed, but
this is the weirdest, most I hate everything about it. First off, just this dude, just looking at him before I even realized it was Yachty, I'm like, look at this big meathead asshole. And then I realized it was Yachty, and I'm like, oh, Andy's got a sticky chest.
This looks like my nightmares. And but it's the minoriest deal ever. I think it's his kid is in some baseball team that's Cubs themed. So thank God, like, we won't have to see this in our nightmares forever.
You get the great thing about it is that it's, he is pissing off Cardinal fans. And that is really what I'm here for, because that makes them so sad when they see a picture like that. They're like, no, not you, Yachty. It's like, and they hate us so much.
I thought we trusted you. Cody Furlong says it looks like every guy in his softball league.
Yeah. That's actually, it looks like the Cardinals roster right now.
Yeah.
It's just all these old dudes. That bat is just so he doesn't fall over. It's not so he can bat.
I don't know what that, now that you've got an explanation for it, but I really did enjoy it. You would think that he at this point would be like, sorry guys, I can't put that out.
Just on principle. Like, my kid's going to have to change teams. Sorry.
Maybe that's why he's got like such a shitty look on his face. He's like, I told you not to fucking take the picture.
So we'll take a quick break, but before we do, we've got a little game we like to play called Who's That
Cubby?
All right. Now I got to find
really
that thing.
Record that.
Well, I know because we have a delay a little bit,
High quality broadcast here, folks.
It really is. Doesn't get any better. All right, here we go for this week's Son Ranto silhouette. Oh, so that big red dot.
Yeah, what's that red dot?
So this is a picture of the baseball card, and it had like one of those fake signatures, and so I had to throw the red dot on there.
Okay, I gotcha.
But yeah, so
looks like he's a lefty.
Looks
Yep,
like this
that-
photo is
Switch hitter.
approximately 97 years old. Look at this.
Yeah, you look in the background. Like that dude's got like a telescope.
Yeah, he does. And very tight pants.
Yeah.
Very
So
tight.
I think you can rule out like late 90s, right? Because anybody with pants that tight is either 80s or 2015 and later.
So we're getting some guesses in the chat. We're going to play a quick commercial. Keep the guesses coming, and we'll let you know who's that cubby when we come back. Here's a commercial for Patreon. Please become a Patreon member at patreon.com/Sonranto, and we'll spend the money on tickets and beer.
If you're like most Americans, you buy. All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sonranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Son Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Son Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Son Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/Sonranto. That's patreon.com/Sonranto. And become a Super Ranter today.
All right. Who's that cubby?
It's Larry Boa.
Oh,
And I
he's
know
from
this is a Phillies picture, but there weren't any real good Cubs batting pictures of him.
There.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, but look how much. Okay, so I thought this might just be like a weird picture. Look how much he's choking up on that bat.
Super choking up. He's like leaning halfway over, like he's trying to get bonked in the head. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's hard to tell, but it looks like he's ready, but he's on his back foot.
yeah, and that's his batting stance. Like it was amazing when I was looking through. And apparently, and I honestly don't remember. He was an 84 Cub, right?
Yeah.
But you kind of forget about that. But yeah, I guess he hit switch because a lot of pictures of him standing sort of right-handed also, but
Okay.
still choking up on that bat. But
Oh, he has
I think
quite a few correct answers in the
I
chat.
could not believe so many people got Larry Boa. Dominic Galoro, I think, was the first.
Yeah, Dominic was in there. Tom Cooper got Larry Boa as well. Corey Furlong said Fonzie.
Yeah. Patrick Levy says
Levy.
clearly Larry Boa.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You guys are good because
And then Corey brings up got the cap under the helmet. Remember that style?
yes,
You keep your baseball hat on and you put your helmet on over it for some reason. It would just kind of smash your hat into your head more.
well,
I don't know why people did it that way.
it would that was what was called extra protection back in the day. Right? Larry Boa was early on the concussion thing, and he's like, if I just put my hat under here and just crank this thing on tight, it'll be good.
So I do want to mention that this show is also brought to you by In the Clutch. Great new shirts from In the Clutch, including this Browns twirling hand, which I have ordered. Michael Cotton has ordered. And if you want to look as cool as we do, this is how. So Not a great ad for it, but
you can either stick your finger in your, I don't know, your engine, or you can just buy the shirt.
Yeah. So also Matt Kammer, he and his Etsy store sponsors the show at Permanent Paintings on Etsy. And of course, thank you to all our Patreon members. You guys rock. Hashtag Chance in the chat if you want to win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom later on in the show. But let's talk about the Cubs' performance so far this spring. I have yet to witness a win since I've been out here. I flew the T once. I saw the Cubs get shut out in surprise Arizona. And I also saw them today lose a pretty fun game to watch at Sloan Park, where I think the final was 9-8, 10-9 or something like that, where the young Cubs battled back and it kind of made it interesting. They did the same thing in the Fly the T game where they were losing 6-0 and battled back and won. I guess I'll give you some of my early impressions of kind of what it's like, the vibe in camp, having come down here before. And not since the days of the Javis and the Chris Bryants and even Ian Happ's as a rookie, when those were some of the exciting young players that the Cubs were bringing up, Schwarber, has there been a feeling like this in camp where you're way more looking forward to seeing some of these prospects because you know that they're ready to pop and ready to get to the next squad? And the cool thing is, it seems like Council's playing him. He's got him out there every day. And PCA looks great right now. Like he's getting all the chances in the world. His blue hair is turning aqua green, unfortunately, at this point in the season, but
they're going to trade him to the Mariners
entirely too often for Vivids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
he's could be. Will tell you got to take it easy on the washing.
Yeah, I don't know if this is his first time dyeing his hair, but he might. It kind of felt like a bit of like a kiss ass move in the first place to like show up that way as a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, but he is coming off to me as incredibly cocky, and when I like it too, and I think he can get away with it to me because he looks like that bully in Christmas Story.
I can guarantee you when he gets to Chicago, we are going to hear Billy, Wheelo, everybody is going to bitch at us about PCA. It's like, you know how Contreras, like everybody bitched the announcers for every team. That's PCA. P. Crow Armstrong is going to be the target for every other team's anger. And I think he loves that.
I agree.
Like I told the story about him when I watched him play in Cedar Rapids, and he just ran up next to the guy who was just sitting there wearing a Cardinals jersey and told him his jersey sucked and then ran off. And he just did it in the middle of a game just for no reason at all. So,
I wonder what the dark side of all that is, because there always is one. If a guy is kind of has one of those effervescent personalities and maybe no filter, that can be really great for you sometimes and make you a free soul and a free spirit. At the same time, it could also make you write checks that your ass can't cash or might have to cash.
Yeah, he will get plunked more than Wilson Contreras.
Well, I mean,
now that's saying something.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know if you want to put a guy like PCA on first base, because he could steal second and he could steal third, and maybe he could steal home as well. And he's certainly looking to try. So he reminds me of Javi on the base paths a little bit.
Somebody said that in the chat earlier, that he's like Javi on the base paths. It's pure chaos. Like as soon as he's out there, the entire defense starts to lose their mind because they don't know what's about to happen. He could go, Everett Tosher says, PCI on base is like Javi on base. Chaos for the other team. And that's true. He'll I don't think he's gonna steal first base on a and have somebody score from third. But yeah, I think it just makes the entire defense clench a little tighter when he's out there.
Yeah, and the defense too. But it's nice to see him out there playing. And I'll put up his numbers so far. In fact, these are just the Cubs that are in camp that have at least 7 at bats so far. But Pete Crow Armstrong right up at the top with 13 at bats and an 895 OPS. What were we calling him before the show? Mr. Spring, David Bodie, the King of Spring.
The King of Spring. David
Oh,
Bowie.
right. The reigning King of Spring. And from this point on, each episode, we will tell you the top 3 spring training players. And at the end of spring training, we will crown the first annual King of Spring.
It's going to be David Bodie. My money's on Bodie. But
It's got to be Bodie.
But you could see they're letting the kids play. Like, all the rumors are that Matt Shaw, who they drafted last year, will be somebody that they're going to maybe even bring up this year to get help from him. Play third base, maybe other infield spots, second probably. We don't need it, but they're giving him a look right now, a really good look. He's already got 13 at bats, and it hasn't gone great for him so far, but he's got a double, he's got a triple, 231 average only, but he's out there, he's getting his taste of big league camp. Canario is another big prospect. Hasn't gone great for him either. He's only batting 182, but still he's out there, he's getting his looks. Pablo Aliendo, he's 4th with 10 at bats, and same with David Bodie. So these are all the kids. The only Matt Mervis in that group, the only guy that's gotten 10 at bats that is a regular starter, which I wonder why he's doing it, is Ian Happ. He's only has 1 hit, but I'm not worried about Happ.
Has Happ mainly been at the top of the order? I haven't gotten to watch as much of the games as I want.
Yeah, he's mainly been at the top of the order. He's been batting first and second, and so he's getting his ABs.
Well, I wonder if that's why they're doing it. I wonder if they're trying to give him the entire spring training just to get that, understand what it means to start the game. You know what I mean?
Well,
Be that first batter.
But no, because he only did that once, I think.
Okay, well then that throws it out the window. But that's what I was saying. If that's what they're trying to do, it would make sense. But if they're not putting him up there all the time, then I don't know why they're.
But you're seeing a couple of competitions here. You're seeing a lot of Owen Casey, who's actually doing a nice job. Speaking of redheads, we got a bunch of them. We're seeing a lot of him. He's doing great so far. He's batting freaking 625. He's 5 for 8. He might be Mr. Spring. Owen Casey. He also signed my nephew's ball, so I'm rooting for him. I
think Joe Hudson has a real chance to be the King of Spring. He's got an 1834 OPS right now.
It's early. So, and then, everybody that you kind of think about for the bench, they're getting more looks than some of the regular guys. Who you don't see in this list is Dansby Swanson, which I'm glad of, because every guy's going to get ready in their own way. But anyway, not to totally, commandeer the situation, the conversation about this, but I'm just liking seeing the kids play. It's
Delightful.
It's like a continuation of what we talked about last Friday, when we were so happy when we saw that first lineup, and it was everything we wanted, like Morel at third, Ian Happ leading off, everything we asked for, and there it was. And I keep feeling that way. It's great.
Yeah, I just like the fact that, we really didn't, for one reason or another, or David Ross, didn't really have the opportunity to get to know the kids and really know what it is we have. And so now, let Dansby Swanson go, pass out orange slices or whatever the hell he has to do in the dugout right now, because we need to see who these kids are and who we should have with us on the big boy team when the time comes. We know Swansby's going to be there. So, like, we don't, he can go, he's a hitter. He can just go warm up. It doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And if anything, like any time in these exhibition games, because the kids are playing pretty hard, and especially towards the end of the game and stuff, like all these guys are looking for jobs. They're jockeying for position.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference. Like I was sitting there with my cousin who doesn't watch a lot of baseball games, but, he's like, oh, now the guys come in that are actually going to try. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And he could tell just eyeball testing, like in comes Pete Crow Armstrong to the game. And this kid is going to do anything he can to get on the major league team. Like he's ready. He knows he's ready. Even with Bellinger in there, he's like, make him play first base. I don't care. I'll come in late. I'll steal the bag. I'll do whatever. I want to be here.
I love the fact that, like, right away, he knows he is competing with Cody Bellinger for a job effectively. Like, he needs to be good enough that we play him over Cody.
Right. Yeah. Push him.
Or that we push Cody to first base to get him into the game, however it is. But, like, he really does have to earn his spot.
Well, I'll remind everybody of the projections.
To do that.
I agree. And I agree, IFG. And I'll remind everybody of the projections here for Cody that these are terrible numbers for a first baseman. Yeah. And no, I'm kidding. I don't believe in the projections.
I honestly think that PCA would be fine going to Chicago, even if he was the fourth outfielder. But the key is, right, you have to let him hit when he's not playing defense, right? He is your DH if he's not in the field. And he is the fastest dude out there, right? So he can play center, of course, anytime. And if he does, you can move Bellinger over to right field and give Seiya a day off. Or you can put PCA in left and give Hap a day off. But you can do it with actual outfielders instead of Mastrobonis and whoever else. I mean, even Tauchman. I love Tauchman. Great story last year. But I would rather see PCA up there rotating through the outfield at all times and getting at bats rather than Tauchman, right? Like, yeah. I don't see any reason why, because everybody's like, oh, well, they signed Bellinger, and that's the death knell for PCA this year. No. But it shouldn't be. There's plenty of space for these young guys on the bench if Council's willing to use them. If you're going to do what Ross did last year and you're going to bring the young guys up and sit them on the bench for 3 weeks and then send them back to AAA, then yes, PCA should go to AAA, right? But if he'll use them, if he'll let them play all the time in different ways, there's no reason that he shouldn't be on that team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And somebody brought up in the chat, speaking of like young outfielders, about Brendan Davis. This is Patrick in the chat. Brendan Davis was starting out great too, and then a bad luck streak hit him literally in the head. Guy can't catch a break. But did he get hurt?
I think he got knocked in the head with a baseball, and he's on concussion protocol. But I don't know what the actual severity of that situation is. I don't know if it's like a precautionary, like you got touched in the head, so you have to go on concussion protocol thing, or if it was actually serious. And if anybody actually saw what happened,
I saw it.
Let me know.
Yeah, I saw it. It was a curveball, and he probably did worse by ducking. He kind of ducked down to it, and it hit him directly in the helmet. They checked him out, looked at him, but then they let him go to first base and keep playing. And so I was surprised to see that they put him in, the concussion protocol later. Like, look, who did this last year? Didn't somebody do this last year too? Just take him out of the game right then. It's spring training. There's no point in even letting him go stand at first, even if he's not. Just take him out of the game. Somebody else can go in there. But
Yeah.
they put him at
But
first.
if
He
he
continued to
said
play,
later
and now he's hurt.
Yeah, if he said later that he had a headache or he was feeling dizzy or anything like that, then they would definitely trigger a concussion protocol for that. I think it's 3 days of observation or something like that.
Yeah, you just got to be smarter about that if you're the Cubs, right? You just can't give anybody who gets hit in the head, like in spring training especially. These are just bullshit games. Like, take him out of the game. Like, there's no point in doing that.
And he was doing great before that too. I mean, the thing about it is, it's like you want to protect that guy at all costs anyway, because he's a really valuable prospect still, and people forgot about him. He was supposed to be the next guy up, and he's already been derailed by the injuries. But if he's also somebody that you can use down the line, I mean, that's another big bat that you can utilize. And that was the issue with the Cubs last year. I mean, actually, the issue really was pitching. And so, I mean, let's talk about that for.
I was just going to say, what's up with the pitching?
Well, we're not seeing. It seems like the fifth starter competition is definitely underway. We've seen Wisniewski out there. We saw Smiley get hit really hard today. We've seen Ben Brown was out there today. Here's the pitchers and what these are just sorted by innings pitched. So Jordan Wicks, speaking of fifth starters, has pitched 4.2 innings already, 193 ERA so far. However, hitters are batting 300 off of him. I don't know what to make of any of these numbers. Like they're obviously working on things. They're maybe Drew Smiley was just throwing one pitch today and everybody knew what was coming, and that's why they kept hitting home runs. I don't know. But here's who's got the most innings. Wicks, Brown, Killian, Smiley are the top four with 4 innings and more, because that's who's kind of in the look for that fifth starter spot. Then we also saw Wisniewski. He actually pitched in a game I went to the other day, and he was bad at first, and then they took him out of the game, but then they brought him back into the game, which you can do in spring training.
Yeah.
So anyway, it seems like the fifth starter competition is going right now. I don't know who Assad, I guess, is in there. He's pitched a little bit as well. He went, I believe, in the first game.
But Wicks actually has the 2 games started, and so he's actually going up. If you're going to see some of the, major league talent, you're generally going to see them in those first couple of innings. So they're putting him out there against what they assume is going to be the toughest hitters. And yeah, it's a 300 batting average against, but 1.93 is, I don't know. Yeah, you never know what to do with numbers that contradict each other like that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, as far as the middle relief goes, we saw Quas. He looked really good. It's just so hard to tell because you don't know what they're working on. Richard Lovelady, with some clean innings, hasn't given up a run. That would given him a look. It's the bullpen actually doesn't look too crappy. I don't know if there's going to be some turnover. Like I do wonder about like how Leiter was not really working out at the end of the year last year. When he lost his feeling for the split and it wasn't doing what he needed to do against lefties. I was like, maybe that's over. Maybe we move on into the Yency Almontes and the Jose Cuases. So it's interesting to have a fresh set of eyes on the whole situation, like Craig Counsell, who might be like, the hell are you putting Leiter out there for? That's the worst idea. That ship has sailed. Or maybe he ends up, picking guys we weren't even thinking of because he's seeing something. And if you remember how that Milwaukee bullpen looked, I'm all for letting him choose.
Yeah, he seemed to be able to work the bullpen the bull penis nice in Milwaukee the whole time he was there. So I say give Counsell all the bull penis in the world. As much bull penis as he wants.
All the bull penis you can handle, Craig.
I got to sit right next to Craig today. Like I was super close to Craig. Like I got this picture of PCA. Gotta find it. I got too many pictures in the brand.
Maybe we need a shirt that says "I like Craig's bull penis."
Here's how close I was to PCA today. Like I was right next to the dugout, and Craig
Oh, that
Counsell was.
is super green. That's like what my hair used to look like when I spent too much time in my nana's pool.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. And it's almost as blue as the hat, which, by the way, when seeing them all wearing those hats, they really they look like Detroit Lions hats to me. Just like, especially when they're all wearing them, like they flip into Lions hats somehow.
They do kind of. Yeah, I get that.
So I do want to share just like a couple pictures of, kind of you met the skipper. Bernie's asking. I didn't meet him, but he seemed like he kept looking at me.
He's like, so I know you.
He's like, that's that guy that's always screaming at Ryan Braun.
Danny, you're standing there. You've got the tinfoil Cubs hat, captain skipper hat, and you're wondering why he's looking at you?
Yeah.
He's like, is he really wearing a captain's hat?
Why does he get to wear the captain's hat? I'm the skipper.
Here.
Yeah, I'm a skipper. I'm going to get me one of those captain's hats.
So I'm a team store.
It had nothing to do with you. Your hats just draws the eye.
One thing they do out here in Arizona is they like to put up the weather in Arizona and the weather in the Midwest where it's usually cold. But look at what we've been getting. It's 73 in Mesa and 70 in Chicago. I booed this sign. I booed it. I'm like, what am I doing out here? I'm sleeping in a place with poop on the ceiling, and I'm for what? And then look at this one. This was when I was in Surprise, when they played the Royals. They the temperature in Kansas City was nearly 80, and it was only 73 and overcast in Surprise.
It's like they don't understand the joke is that it's freezing in the Midwest and it's hot in Arizona. And if that's not the case, you scratch that thing. You don't do it. Like there's just no point to it.
Cut the weather. They can't. Yeah. But check this out. We got on TV. I was out at the tailgate. There's Tommy, and they're cooking pizzas, and we're doing like the Club 400 gang signs. This is us on Marquee Network. So that was pretty cool to get on there. And I got
your pinky finger is jacked up, Danny. You look like you might have Brown's twirling hand.
It's actually a Danny Rocket shirt. And then, but look at that. I got myself a Club 400 tattoo to go with my Club 400 hat.
Oh, I thought you were about to go into the heroin tent.
Yeah. And then I did about the heroin, nodded out a little bit in the Sloan porta potty, came to, got into the stadium about the second inning, wandered around a bit, fell asleep in the grass. No, we had a lot of fun because I'm there with my nephew, and to see it through his eyes is really cool because he's the exact right age. He's junior high, seventh grade. And so, we're walking around and he's like taking fun pictures and, like around the statues.
That's a good one.
He is getting an autograph from Christopher Morel, who couldn't be nicer. There he is. Look how happy he is with his Christopher Morel ball. And then I'm just so happy because we're like creating good memories together. There we are in Arizona. He's embarrassed of me though. He does not think that my hat is cool because I asked him if he wanted to wear it. He does not. And then there he is getting an autograph from Owen Casey. Look at that flowing red ginger hair. And then there he is with his dad. That's my brother-in-law, Rob. He's also a big Cubs fan and everything. So we're having a really good time out here. And just like, I got to say, it's like, it's a baseball picnic if you don't take it too seriously. Like there was this guy a couple rows up from me today, just going nuts, just like really into the game. And I was like, bro.
Mid-season form for that guy.
Yeah, and I've been there. I'm that guy sometimes, but I've learned to relax in my older age. So, but
I've never been to a spring training game.
Well,
I
I
know-
know you got to come down. Next year we should plan something, or
I should try to win a trip. I found these today. I was going through my pack of wax packs, and I have an 88 tops here. It's still got the gun.
oh,
And you can win a trip to spring training with it?
Win a trip to spring training. This is
So-
That would be amazing if you turn that in now,
right.
almost 40 years later.
They said the spring training trip is worth up to $5,000. I think I could get to Arizona for $5,000.
oh my God, that would have been a great trip back then.
Right?
Holy shit, yeah.
I mean, $5,000 now, I could do pretty well down here.
Yeah, 5,000 is great now, but in 1988, that was like somebody's yearly salary.
Yeah.
Should we rip it?
Well, how do we want to do this? We're going to do a new segment called Rippin' Packs. And so what is there a game that's like, who's the highest?
Yeah,
bat?
let's just for fun, because this is the first one. When we go to break, drop in the chat what you think out of all of the 15 or so 10-15 cards that are in this pack. Was it 15 cards? We have 15 cards from 1988 tops in this pack. Tell me what you think the highest batting average.
Okay, we're going batting average. So
Yeah, we'll start easy. We'll go batting average. So
Dave-
when we go to break,
Dave
drop-
Magadan. Dave Magadan.
Dave Megan.
I don't need a name. I want a number. But hey, if you get the name and number, I'll mail you the card.
You want to know what the number is on the highest? Okay, I'm
Yeah, like
ooh.
Price is Right rules. Closest without going over.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, 1988. I feel like some batting averages were pretty good. I'm gonna go with 327.
Oh, I like it.
I like it.
$1.
Artie says 316. Bernie Barron's going 305.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go to commercial.
Toe D&D going 325.
I like it.
Oh, I see a 370 in the chat.
Oh, Tony Gwynn. That means Tony Gwynn's in the pack. All right. Well, we'll
Yes, that would be Tony Gwynn.
What
we'll
did you
be
say,
right.
Cotton? What was your number? 327?
327.
Mine is 369.
Of course.
God damn it.
So,
Nice.
we're gonna play a commercial for In the Clutch and their fabulous shirts, 10% off with code Son Ranto. We'll be right back.
If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his W. Cody Bellinger, smoking dudes. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your stro. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SONRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In the Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch.
Do you ever find yourself longing for long walks and talks about catcher metrics? How about a coffee or a run differential? Maybe a candlelit dinner dissecting what exactly is the curious case of Miles Mastrobuoni? If you have, I have just the place for you, the Cubs PS Plus podcast. Come join us. Cubs PS Plus, a Northside numbers game, can be found wherever it is you get your podcasts, and on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Cubs PS Plus, a spin on the baseball metric OPS Plus. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go.
All right. Now we need a theme song, but we are back on the Son Ranto Show. Hashtag chance in the chat. And we need a theme song like Rippin' Packs, Rippin' Pass. Yeah. Yeah. And then a big solo. Yeah. Rippin' Packs, Rippin'. It's like kind of like Wayne's World, party time, Rippin' Packs.
Oh, see, I was getting to feel like Zach, the Rippin' Pack Maniac.
Yeah, I remember that. Lego Maniac was the original, right?
Yeah.
So I dare you to chew the gum.
Should
Oh,
I?
don't. No, it's disgusting. But
It's
yes,
older
do
than
it.
my little brother. I mean,
What does it smell? Does it smell like gum? Does
Do
Do you still have beer?
yes.
Okay, stick the whole thing in your mouth and spit it out.
Let's see what happens.
No,
Joe.
no.
So that's like 35-year-old gum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just fell apart in your mouth, didn't it?
It is just powder.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
I've always wanted to do that.
And it's always funny. It is always good. Like every time I see somebody do it, like you know what's gonna happen, and you just can't wait to see him do it.
It's so bad.
Oh man. 35-year-old gum. I mean, I do have I have a sweatshirt from 1988 that probably tastes similar to that gum.
It's probably just as crusty.
Yeah.
Okay. So cards.
Highest batting average.
Highest batting average. So here we go.
Yeah, who do we got in this?
We got Greg Harris.
Oh, well, he's a pitcher.
Pitcher, yeah, you throw him
So
out.
he ain't gonna be it. We got another pitcher. We got some Steve Shields. Look at that beautiful.
Who is that? The
Steve
M's.
Shields from the Mariners.
I remember Steve Shields. He was good, right?
You know what? I kind of like that old jersey. I don't think I even
it's
clocked the Mariners back then.
I'm thinking of Ben Shields, though, aren't I?
Bernie
he
Barron
was
asks who
wearing
won
a-
the World Series in '88. I think it was the A's, right? Wasn't that a Bash Brothers year?
I think it was. I mean, the next year was the A's Giants, where you had the earthquake, because the Cubs were supposed to be in that one, but
Yeah, and I feel like the A's were there in '88.
the Dodgers won the World Series. That was Kirk Gibson.
Oh, that was '88.
Yep.
Oh, here.
Wow.
Let's see what I got here. I got Chet Lemon.
Oh, there you go. Tigers. He was good. Outfielder. Yeah, what was his batting average? Probably not too high. I bet you he's like let me guess, 273.
277.
Dude,
Wow,
look at me. Look
Yeah.
at me.
that was pretty good.
Not
Very
bad.
good. Very good. Let's see what we got now. We got another pitcher here. We got some Chuck Krim from the Brewers.
I do not remember that guy.
Uh,
Krim? Chuck Krim.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Oh,
Yeah,
this
there's
is
some
like his
comments.
first year on the big boy team.
Yeah.
Let's
Probably
see.
his
We got
last year, too.
Len Sakata.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. Yankee. Yeah, there you go. Now, he
No.
was like a second baseman. I want to say he probably had a low batting average. Yankees weren't. I'm going to
No,
say.
second baseman would have been high batting average, low power.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to go 283.
All right. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go lower than that. He's like 261.
267.
Oh
Look at
my
me.
God, Danny.
On fire. How about some Willie Upshaw?
Oh, he was good. Remember, he had a lot of power, outfielder for the Blue Jays.
Yep.
I'm guessing he batted low, though.
That's where I remembered that name. Mike Waller put it in there. Chuck Krim, the Independent. That is from the Ted Lasso show.
So
Ah.
Willie Upshaw, like that seems like low batting.
Yeah, he's at
220.
244.
Yeah, all right.
244.
All
Yeah.
right, I should let you guess. You were on a
Nothing
roll.
over 300 yet.
Nope,
Rip in
nope.
packs. Rip in packs.
More Tigers. We got some Johnny Grubb.
Oh, hey, Johnny
We
Grubb.
could have
That's a
called
good
him
baseball
Johnny
name.
Scrub. His average is only 202.
202.
Oh,
Oh, there's my winter spring training trip, spring fever baseball.
send
Fill
it in.
out, mail
Send it in.
I should do it. Okay, we got Joe Price from the Giants, another pitcher.
He doesn't have batting average. I don't remember.
Batting average on that guy. Can't even.
Oh, I'm
hit.
going to say his batting average. It's on there, but it's going to be like 185.
They do not list his batting average. I don't think they cared. Oh, he's from Tampa. Let's see. We got some Chris Brown.
Oh,
Padres.
he might be the highest one. I don't know what kind of year he had. That are we just doing it by like lifetime or
Yeah,
last
no,
year?
the year
No,
I think. Right?
just the year before. So like in
So
what, he hit
87.
87.
The 87.
Huh, that's a horse of a different color. I don't know what Chris. He was probably wasn't Chris Brown a giant too at some point, and then he moved over.
Yes, he was. This was his first year on the Padres in '87.
All right. He might be a 300 hitter.
He was a 300 hitter in 1986. But he started off 87 with the Giants, hitting 242, and then with the Padres in 87, hit 232.
No, he
Ooh.
really fell off after that trade.
He must have been 31 those years. Right?
Nobody
Because as
said
soon as you
300.
turn 31, you go down a hill.
All right, we got some Bill Wegman.
Pitcher. I remember him.
We got some
Dave Stewart. Oh,
Dave
that's the best.
Stewart.
That's the best card in there so far.
Yeah,
No, this is Dave Stewart, the pitcher. It's not Cobra.
Oh,
This is Athletics pitcher Dave.
Yeah, the
Stewart.
pitcher, Dave Stewart. Yeah, he was good. He was a great pitcher.
Oh, we got our first Cubby.
Ooh, who do we got?
okay.
Oh, Brian Day.
Brian Dayette. Is that who that is?
Dude, that is a great look at that batting stance. That was
All right, everybody put in your guesses for Brian Dayette's batting average right now. I'm going to go
169.
I'm going to go 212 and see what other people are getting in there. 354 from Tom Cooper. 354. 177 for Bernie Barron. 260 Andy Wells. Alex Miller 213. Robert Sanchez 213. Oh, double 213s there. 208, 215. All right, what do we got?
Closest without going over. Price is Right rules. Our winner here is Andy Wells, who guessed 260. The number is 277.
Oh, wow.
Now
277 is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
In 86, he hit 269.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so next one we got some Jesse Orasco from the Mets.
Pitcher. He was good.
Yep, I remember
We
Jesse.
got Mark McLemore from the Angels.
Huh. I kind of
So
remember
2B
him.
from
He
the
could-
Angels.
I don't think he played a lot.
Let's see. 86, he didn't play hardly at all. He was only in 5 games. 87, he played 138 games and carried a 236 batting average.
Not still low.
Yep.
Yeah.
We didn't even have one in the 300s
Well,
yet.
I mean, come on. Have we had a single like real star in this pack?
I mean, besides Brian Dayette, no.
Let's see. I got that one. Hold on.
We must have gone through 15 of them by now.
I got one left. I just need to make sure that I have the right highest batting average set aside.
You could tell us anything.
that one.
We wouldn't know.
We would. You could
Not
just make
that
it
one.
up.
Not that one.
We could
No.
blame it on
Not that one. Okay.
you
so last
hallucinating
one.
from the gum.
Last one. I got Terry Kennedy. Catcher.
Oh, yeah, catcher. No,
Orioles.
back then, catchers batted like pitchers. He's 182.
173.
This dude could hit
Oh.
250.
Oh.
That's pretty good for a catcher.
Yeah, not bad.
How many games? 4 games?
143.
Yeah, he was their regular guy.
143 games
Yeah,
for a
so
catcher
He
is
started out as
good
a
work.
Cardinal. He went to the Padres for a bunch of years, and 87 was his first year with the Orioles, and he hit 250.
Well, who's the number one guy? Is it
Our number one is it's a 2-way tie. We got Mr.
Chet Lemon?
Chet Lemon and Mr. Brian Dayette.
Oh, nice. A
277.
Cubby. Right. Well,
277 is
did
as high
anybody
as
guess
it
that
gets.
earlier?
Let's see. I think we wanted
lot
a
of guesses.
closest without going over.
Rogue
No,
Wave had 287.
pretty close.
We had to go without go. Price is Right rules, right? So we
Yep,
didn't
Price
really.
is Right rules. Closest without
every-
going over, which means Danny and Cotton are both
Everybody
out.
was over 300.
7, and Danny guessed 369.
Yeah.
David Elliott had a second guess, so it doesn't count. But he said .069, and by the Price is Right rules, that would win.
Was the winner. Yeah. So congratulations, David.
But that was his second guess. Come on.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
That was a nice guess.
0.69 with the winner. So that's a fun game. Like we've been thinking about doing this for a while, opening baseball cards and just having fun. And it is fun. So let's do it again.
I got a box full of these things. I bought a bunch of wax packs on eBay real cheap. So I am happy to do this every show. That's
Sweet.
a lot of fun. I got some like I think 84 All-Star game packs and all kinds of stuff.
Fun. Yeah,
awesome.
Bernie Barron's in the chat saying that was fun. Do you know what else is fun is my life on Twitter, because I saw all these people saying like, what game were you at that, is the I was at that game. And for me, it's game 7 of the World Series. There will never be another game that will ever top that. Yeah, it's just impossible to do at this point. So I'm happy about that. And then it got me wondering about people that were supposed to be at games that you got a ticket and then something happened and then you couldn't go. And then it ended up being the best game ever. Or you turn down a ticket at the last minute and you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to go. And then it turned out to be like some incredible game.
Like
for
a
me,
no-hitter or something.
Yeah. For me, that I saw there were 2 no-hitters that I missed. Both of Jake Arrieta's. I was in Cincinnati for Jake's first no-hitter, but it was kind of rainy outside and we had driven all day and we said, let's just go tomorrow. I missed the no-hitter. The other time I missed Jake's no-hitter was in Los Angeles, where we were supposed to play at this venue, and they said, hey, can you move your gig from the one Sunday to the other Sunday? Because I had given them both as an availability. And so we did that. That Sunday was Jake's second no-hitter. And I missed that one too. So I was in the town where the no-hitter was taking place on the road, but just not at the game, which is weird for somebody who goes to all the games like me.
And then you did show up when the visiting team finally threw a no-hitter against the Cubs, breaking the Cubs no-hit streak like 8,000.
But I was at Cole Hamels no-hitter, at least at the end of it, but I didn't even know it was happening until way later, until like the game was almost over. I'm like, because I didn't even enter the game till the 7th. So that one, and then my last one is the Aramis Ramirez homer against the Brewers. I missed that because of a canceled flight. So my uncle ended up going with my mom, so at least they got to go. But 8 tickets and all that stuff. But I always see they always play that highlight every time they show Aramis Ramirez. They're showing him hitting that home run against the Brewers, and instead of me saying I was there, it's I was at home. I literally cried that day after that happened because I was just all alone. And I was supposed to go home and see my mom, and we were supposed to go to the game, and I had this big weekend planned, and instead I just had to stay in New York all weekend. And I shed a tear out of sadness. But anyway, a bunch of people on Twitter gave me all their games. And I'm wondering if you guys have some that you have like examples like I just gave.
I don't have any that I missed for any reason. I went to the game where Mark Pryor got the comebacker that broke his arm, and I was so drunk that I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know why Mark Pryor wasn't in the game anymore. But so I missed that one in a sense, even though I was sitting right there in the stands. And Mark Pryor got hurt, so it wasn't like a great game to be at anyway.
Well, how about IFG? You went to the All-Star game last year. Is that your I was there game? Or do you have another one?
It could be. I was at the Tampa Bay Rays first Pride night. And like it was for a very sad reason. It was awful. It was right after the shooting happened at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. And I hadn't been planning on going to a game. I usually go to a few games a year, but like at that, that time I hadn't really been planning on going to a game, but they announced over the radio that they were going to donate, all the money that was raised during that game to the victims of the shooting. And we just packed up and went like, yeah, I'm not going to not go to that. They sold the tickets really cheap, and they were like, all the money is going, like, please, let's just pack the house. And, they had the pride flag out, and they did the whole thing. They raised so much money with the 50-50, like over $150,000 or something like that. The Rays lost, like, no, they couldn't play for shit that night. It was not a great baseball game, but the, experiencing that kind of a community atmosphere at a baseball game in Tampa is not something that happens very often. And so for my entire life, I would be so happy that I went to that game that night.
That's an amazing experience, because that's more about the being a fan and what baseball means to a community in and outside of the game. And like a lot of the the reasons people wishes they were at the game is because it was an awesome game, and that's a cool reason. Like Michael, a lot of people said the game that they were supposed to be at that they wish they were at was the Lester bunt game with when Hayward scored the winning run. And I know you chalked that up to being one of those, like, I was there, that was the greatest game I ever saw.
It's my favorite game that I've ever been at. I've been at some pretty good ones, but that one was amazing because you get the Lester bunt and Jason Hayward, with the safety squeeze coming in and, head first dive. It was great. And the fact that they were down 6-0 in the third inning to come all the way back to pull that off. That was a really good one.
There were a lot of people on Twitter that said they turned down tickets to the David Bodie Grand Slam.
Oh, wow.
And because that game became a Sunday night game, and it was a Sunday day game. And so a lot of people were like, eh. And so like, if maybe you sold your tickets or just decided not to attend. And that was actually my case for that game as well, because I had gone all weekend, and then my cousin wanted to go, and then his son at the last minute was like, I don't want to go. And so my cousin still gives his son shit. He's like, you're the reason that we didn't drive in from Wheaton to go see that game with cousin Danny. So I blame that kid too. It's really his fault.
No, I will say, Danny, even though that Lester bunt game is one of the ones that, I was there. The playoff game that I went to with you, me, and Lyle.
That was awesome.
Sitting there watching the Cardinals. 6 different Cubs hit a home run in that game, and which is the record. But so 6 home runs by the Cubs in the game and by 6 different players. It was fun.
Bananas.
It was just so cool to be at that game and to see all that happening.
And another thing I thought of is that new words in our vocabulary. I think in Cubs fans' vocabulary, as we were talking about this stuff, if I say I was at Game 7 to a Cubs fan, everybody knows what that means. I don't have to say which Game 7. Unfortunately,
it wasn't 2003.
Yeah,
it's not 2003 anymore.
Okay, but now here's a sort of trick question. I was at Game 6. What does that mean?
Dodgers.
That you say Dodgers, you say Bartman. Okay, that's interesting. I would say the Bartman game is called the Bartman game.
Yeah.
But by the way, Bartman was at spring training. I got a picture of that cloud. This dude shows up. Where is that picture? It's on here somewhere. Maybe
the guy that's dressed like
Bartman.
Bartman.
He comes a lot at the game. Oh, here he is. This guy. I talked to him a couple years ago. He just comes to troll Cubs fans by dressing as Bartman. It's his.
If you ever see him, kick him in the shins and say it's from me.
Is he a Cubs fan?
No, he is not. He hates Cubs fans. He's a Reds fan, I think. He was there to cheer the Reds.
Oh, so they were playing the Reds at least. I was
Yeah.
going to say he just shows up just like, what kind of life is that? Like, I give the Ricketts my money so that I can go there and hate on the Cubs. Doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. Game 6 means Dodgers. Game 5, what does that mean?
Game 5 could be the Nationals. That was a pretty big game in, was it 2017 when they pulled that out right at the end?
Yeah, I was thinking it's the game at Wrigley that they won in the World Series.
Okay.
Just
Yep. No, I can see it. The only World Series game that they have won in Wrigley Field. No, that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, since we were alive.
Since 1945, at least, yeah.
No, they lost. I think they got swept in 45.
Did they get swept? Yeah. So then it's been
100
38.
years.
There was no Game 5. But yeah, but I think the Nationals, that's a good one for Game 5. Yeah, I don't really have a Game 4. Oh, actually, I do.
Oh, Tom Cooper says 1984 could be a Game 5.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's a bad Game 5.
That was a bad Game 5, though.
Yeah.
I would say Game 4 could be against the Giants that same 2016 year. I mean, the fact is they're all
Bernie says the same thing. Giants Game 4.
Yeah. So, and then you get down to Game 3 and you might as well just be in a season series. Nothing that magic happens. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting and to see everybody's thing, and especially all the reasons that people missed games that they were supposed to be at. Like, I was supposed to be at Sobrano's no-hitter, and there was a game, Clemens versus Wood, that I guess was a huge deal at the time, because the Yankees and Cubs didn't play much, and that's when Clemens was with the Yankees. There was another one where the Travis Wood played left field, which when he went as up in the Ivy, people were supposed to be at that one. It was like some random games too. It was kind of interesting to see people's regrets and to this day being like, and to this day, I hate myself. I'm like, all right, buddy.
Why didn't I quit that job and go to that game?
Yeah. I wonder about Game 7. Like, some people I know being just the biggest Cub fans of all. Like, I almost didn't go to Game 7, and I did at the very last minute.
So that Travis Wood game you're talking about is the John Lester bunt game.
Oh, okay.
Because when you said it, I was like, I think that was the game. But yeah, I just looked it up real quick. August 1st.
Anyway, we're flush out of ideas. It's still only spring training. We should just end this show soon. So I do want to say that Ranter Fest is coming up. I still don't have tickets for sale, but it's all booked up. We're doing Output Lounge on May 31st, where we're going to have comedy from Eric Wheelo, Billy DeVore, and Joe Kilgallen, plus a performance from the Bleacher Bum Band. And then on Saturday, Ranter Fest is going to be at Almost Home we'll meet up at noon, and then we're all going to go to the game on 6/1. Get yourself a bleacher.
Christopher Morel bobbleheads.
Yeah, so we're going to try to get into the game early, which means probably by 4:00 you want to be lined up to try to get that bobblehead. June 1st. So get yourself, if you want to sit with us, bleachers. If you don't want to sit with us, that's fine too. But definitely plan on 6/1. And then
if you can't get tickets to that game for some reason, still come and we can hang out at the bar and watch the game at the bar. Like, we can have a rancher watch for anybody who doesn't get tickets. There will be other ranchers in the same boat, and you can hang out at the bar with them and watch the game.
I'm sure Almost Home will gladly take your money.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say is that our friend David Lieb, who is a fellow ranter, supports us a lot on our Patreon and everything, and is very active in our community on the Discord. He is doing a charity walk, and so it's for suicide prevention, mental health, and it's kind of it's an all-night walk. So it's called Out of the Darkness, and it's called the Overnight. And I've just dropped the link in the chat. And it's theovernight.org. I think you could look up David Lieb as a participant, and I've just dropped the link. So maybe if you can see that, click on it, help him out. He's about halfway to his goal of $2,000 that he's trying to raise. And yeah, so if you can, we're gonna have him on to talk about him doing the walk and as we get closer to it. And I also want to say we're doing Project Warning Track, and I've gotten a hell of a lot of compliments on my Wrigley marquee captain's hat. Everybody loves it. So keep your ideas coming. It just basically make your own Cubs gear.
So
that's it.
So fun.
Emily,
it doesn't have to be anything in particular, like whatever you want to do, but like take a, look, we can spend this entire season worrying about transparent pants and tiny little names on the back of shitty quality jerseys, or we can take it into our own hands and make our own really bitchin' swag, which is just fun. So make Emily, it fun. Tell us what you made. Emily
got started on her entry into Project Warning Track, and it is
this one.
So it's for the podcast. It's the Cubs jersey is cut into a cover for a seat cushion, right? So that's a nice seat cushion in there. And then for the top, she took a pair of baseball pants and made the top nice zipper, and you got your Rawlings right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you can stick stuff in here, and so she's not done with it. She's adding some straps. She's adding some old style koozies to hold your beer bat in it. And and it's the right size, so you can actually take this into Wrigley Field. It fits their dimensions.
That's
nice.
Very cool. And so
something to sit on the bleachers.
Yeah.
The bum bag.
The bleacher bum bag. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. But I loved the whole, like the zipper and the buttons on the pants, holding it together is amazing.
IFG, are you willing to or ready to show us yours, or should we wait till next show?
I left it in the other room.
Okay. All right. So
I don't want to get it, but
well, and we never give directions on how to do this. So just make something and then send a picture to us, to send it to me at Son Ranto on Twitter or whatever. And Bernie says it is cool. I put a crap load of patches on a jean jacket. Exactly. It could be something like that.
Yeah, and, I saw a Dansby Swanson jersey turned into a little dress, which I thought was really cool. Mine, I left it. It's with my sewing machine in the other room. But I turned my Christopher Morel jersey. It's a size 5X. It was donated by Rogue Wave Creative. And I took the bottom half, like I cropped it in the middle, and turned the bottom half of the jersey into a hood. And so now it's like kind of like a button-up cloak. And then I brought the whole thing with like Cubs themed fleece.
Emily saw that. She really dug that. She thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so I figure, the Cubs are coming here to Seattle in April. I'm probably going to Scotch guard the outside of the thing so it's a little bit waterproof because God knows it rains here. And it might be able to just keep me warm here in that early springtime game. I'm pretty jazzed about it.
Yeah,
that would coming here to me. I'm going to see so many Cubs games this year. I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. So we have a Cubsler. And we have some correct answers for a Cubsler, but you want to go over what the Cubsler was?
Yeah, so last week's
the weekly puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, the weekly puzzle. We had a lot of correct answers this week, which is great. So here is the Cubsler from last week. It is mostly Holden, rarely Hammerin', a Mad Dog's favorite target. He broke good in Albuquerque and 11 different MLB cities. So mostly holding refers to his ability to hold runners as a catcher, and rarely hammering refers both to the fact that he did not hit very many homers, but he also shares a name with Hammerin' Hank Aaron. and they both played in Atlanta. Mad Dog is Greg Maddox's nickname, and he was Maddox's personal catcher. He broke good in Albuquerque, refers to his AAA team, the Albuquerque Dukes, and also a reference to Breaking Bad, where the good guy's name was Hank, and the bad guy's name was Walter White, giving us his nickname, Hank White, who played in 11 cities under his actual name, Henry Blanco.
Yeah, Hank White.
Yep. So
let's get our correct answers up here, and we will.
I think we had like 7 this.
Yeah, there's
week,
quite a
didn't we?
few.
Wait,
Scott
so is his
Stauber-
name Hank White or is it Henry Blanco?
It's
Henry
Henry Blanco.
Okay.
Hank White is what we would call him because we're dumb that way. So we got Rich Deanna in here, Brad Schmidt, Corey Furlong, Artie Boucher, Jeff Bjorn, Scott Sowers, and David Elliott, all with correct answers.
Yeah.
Y'all
we're
are so
gonna
smart.
spin the wheel.
Let's split it. Let's spin it. And at the end of the year, the Cubsler will win a prize eventually. And the winner is, it just got over to Corey. Poor Rich Deanna. He almost had that in the bag.
Corey Furlong is the winner. And Corey has been dropping me lines saying that he's going to hate this, and I'm going to make sure he does when I do my voicemail for him. But no, I did order. I ordered the first bit of the grand prize that people are in at the end of the season. It is a Ronnie Woo Woo talking bobblehead. That is part of the grand prize. So I'm going to add to it, but I found one cheap on eBay and picked that sucker up. So
what is this week's Cubsler?
all right. So this week's Cubsler. Come in. Okay. A half-baked Cub traded. An unfunny Hollywood screwball spawned a resurgence, not laughs, with a nice career and a ring. All right, do that again real quick. A half-baked Cub traded. An unfunny Hollywood screwball spawned a resurgence, not laughs, with a nice career and a ring.
All right. There is the Cubsler. Please send your correct answers to sonranto@gmail.com or the Son Ranto Show Twitter at Son Ranto Show. And I guess we just got to do TFCs. I only have one here. It is, does anybody else have one?
Mine are not TFCs, but I have something, yes.
Not
Okay.
really, but I was just looking at what it costs to get a bleacher seat for that June 1st game. It's a very nice $69.
I know. I saw that. Somebody posted that. I mean,
I was
unfortunately,
like, I need to start buying my tickets actually to these games. And $69 for the
60
for that
plus.
bleacher.
Yeah, it ends up being like
It's like $87.
$169.
Right,
Yeah.
plus another 69 in fees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$87.53 is the total.
Yeah, I do think that's going to be a high demand game. But if you are in the Chicago area, you can save a lot of money on fees by buying it at the stadium because you don't have to pay fees at the stadium. So, just one
They
way.
still sell them at the window?
They do, but it's the dumbest thing. They ask for your email address, and sometimes you actually have to pass them your phone. You're like, how is this easier than handing me a ticket?
And why is there no fees if it's electronic, but you're at the window? It should cost you more to make that human do it instead of making the computer do it. I don't know.
But instead, we're just being integrated with computers, and we're all going to be cyborgs in the future.
Rogue Wave Creative says, I'll be at the bar.
So, I do have a TFC, and is that the Marquee Network, I mean, they probably did not intend this to happen. Patrick Norton asked, why isn't Marquee broadcasting today's game? And then he looked at the schedule, and he goes, It's because at 2 p.m. they were playing a show called Inside the Ass. And I got to explain this to the podcast listeners. And I don't know what this ass what inside the assistant's clubhouse or like what is this show called? I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know. Anybody in the chat know what this might refer to?
So from 2 to 2:30, because it's only a half-hour show, it couldn't show the complete name of the program, and so it only showed the first 2 words and only partial of the third word, which starts with ASS. So it's Inside the Ass. But I guarantee that would get pretty good ratings.
It definitely would.
Just
depending on who's
Marquee Network just airing your colonoscopy live.
So mine is not necessarily a TFC. It's actually kind of nice, and I just wanted to point it out here. I found this on Reddit. What is Brett's podcast into the
On to Waveland?
On to Waveland is dead. The Athletic has killed it. And so people were saying, hey, On to Waveland's gone. What's the best Cubs podcast? And surprise, surprise, Mall Pretzel says Son Ranto is probably my favorite. Pointless Exercise is good too. I liked Morale Clubhouse, but they seem to have quit the podcast game too. And then also we had Fly the W 1988. Son Ranto is my personal favorite. Just a great group of people on both the show and the Discord. It's a niche pod with a fun, dynamic, great baseball talk, and an incredible fan community. And
Wow.
I cannot agree more. And I just want to say thank you, Mall Pretzel, and thank you, Fly the W 1988. And for everyone else, yeah, put our name out there. Get on Reddit, get on Twitter, tell people we are a podcast that they should be listening to because we're always fucking right, and we're right months ahead of everyone else being right. They call it speculation. Some call it witchcraft. We call it, we're watching the damn games. Okay? We see what's happening. So get on that.
Yeah, get on that. And leave us a review on any of the podcatchers you listen to us to. That also helps us as well. Even though we're a live show, we still are a podcast. And just a reminder to anybody that wants to listen to us ad-free, Patreon is how you get your own RSS feed, patreon.com/sonranto. And that's where we're going to be over right now as we hang out in the Discord after the show. But first, let's give away a chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. David Elliott's right here in the chat saying the current longest running Cubs podcast. I mean, it really would take for us to die, I think, to stop the show. I mean, which the problem is, I believe I am actually the oldest Cubs podcaster as well. So that does not bode well for everybody. David Kaplan is probably older than me. David Kaplan.
Oh, yeah. Kaplan and Gordy over on the recap. They're older, but they haven't been doing what we're doing as long.
No, they copy us. All right, here we go. I'm Chance in the chat, and now I'm picking it. So who's going to win the Frank Chance postcard and a chance to win the big prize?
Oh, he's picking it. He's flashing the leather.
Tom Cooper, congratulations. You are the winner tonight. I think I'm seeing it before everybody else, right?
No, we see it.
Oh,
Tom Cooper.
Congratulations, Tom. That's the show. I will be back in town. Unfortunately, tomorrow night I'll be at the game tomorrow, so follow my Twitter and stuff like that. Got the White Sox. Got another week of spring training. Looking forward to it. It's fun to be out here. It's fun to see some Cubs baseball, and let's talk about it all in the Discord later on. And I guess we'll see you probably next week at some point. We'll let you know when that is. Probably next Tuesday. But spagog, y'all, and
Spagog.
that's all I got. Spagog.
Spagog.
Rob Manfred likes opening days in winter. Likes baseball games that don't go on too long. Rob Manfred likes more offense from the hitter. shooting the ball, dragging floor stitches. And half the team's making the playoffs. Rob Manfred likes pitchers who face 3 batters and not paying minor leaguers at all. Like the catch, don't block the plate. But one thing Manfred hates, Rob Manfred hates baseball. Yeehaw! Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred likes TV deals and blackouts. He likes letting the Houston Astros cheat. He likes how ticket prices keep the fans out and Xing teams out of the minor leagues. Rob Manfred's gonna bring us robot umpires to tell CB Buckner that he's been wrong. He likes putting money in the bank